Folks, this is Bali. It's a resort called Sanur, which is on the southeastern side of the island of Bali, about an hour north of the main airport. Um, and I stayed at this rather imposing hotel called the Bali Beach Hotel, and it looks like something out of the 1960s, doesn't it? And there's a story with that, and I'll explain the story, but just let me give you the directions first so you know whereabouts this is. So Sanur is, as I said, about an hour north of the airport. Depending upon the traffic, it'll take you 40 minutes, 50 minutes to get there in a car from the airport. And the hotel is right on the beach. And if you see that square rectangle, that's the conference centre next to the hotel. And then there's another one, the Meru, which is just south of it. Now, the hotel was actually built in 1963, but in 1993, there was a major fire, which meant that it needed to be rebuilt. Now, this is the biggest hotel in Bali. It's 10 stories high, and they don't make them like this anymore. So pretty soon after making this hotel, building this hotel, they changed the laws so that hotels had to be lower than 15 meters, which means that it blends in. Now, when you arrive at the hotel, it's got like a central reception area which looks after both the Bali Beach Hotel and the Meru. And you arrive in the car and you go up these steps, and then you go down this kind of entrance tunnel. I did it at night, and it's spectacular at night because it's beautifully lit. It's got this marble or granite floor. Actually, it looks like marble, doesn't it? And then to either side, you have these recesses, and you can see the water flowing there. So you get this aural and visual effect as you walk in. There's no shortage of staff at this hotel. It must employ thousands. I think it's owned by the government, and it's a bit of a showpiece for the government. So you walk along this passage, and then at the end of it, there's another kind of feature as well, and you get the sound of the falling water. I've turned it down on the video because it was a little bit distracting. So over to the left is the reception. I'll show you that in a second. Bali was great, by the way. I'll talk a little bit more about it as to have done this kind of introduction to the hotel. So then you turn off to the left. Hello there, Salamat Pagi. And you've got the reception for both resorts, and then you go through this kind of little lounge. There's a bar at the end, it wasn't full, so I was there in the middle of August, which is supposed to be their high season, but it wasn't full. And then once you go past this bar bit at the end, then you turn right to go to the Meru, or I turned left to go up to where my rooms were along this passage up there. So Bali's a pretty big island. It's the size of Norfolk if you're in the UK. The public transport on the island is pretty limited. Everyone goes everywhere by taxi or on a scooter. I stayed in one location because I'd had a busy week down in Sydney and just wanted to chill, and this was absolutely perfect for what I wanted to do. Big bas relief there. If you know your H.P. Lovecraft, that would have a picture of Cthulhu on it, wouldn't it? So this, and then the rooms are kind of above this. You go up them through those lifts that are just in that foyer there. Outside, it's got a big swimming pool, big grassed area. There were people doing laps of that and obviously playing about with it. Loads of sun lounges, and there's sun lounges on the beach as well. So just behind that hedge earlier on, there was you hit the beach. You can see it from the satellite picture that I showed you before. That's the Meru, which is the new hotel next to it. In the Bali Beach Hotel, there's a good gym. It's got everything that you'd need in there. And it's only probably less than a kilometre away from the Icon Mall. The Icon Mall is new. It's got lots of Western shops, high-end shopping in there. That's nice. But to get to it, you go past restaurants and bars that are on either side of the beach as you walk down there. and that's the ocean there. So that's looking east, and running along where the hotel is, kind of to the north, where there's a port, and there's another port just down at the bottom. There's this kind of promenade that people walk, run and cycle along, and that's what I was doing while I was there. I was getting up in the morning, having breakfast, fantastic breakfast in the hotel, absolutely world-class breakfast, one of those multi-cuisine ones. You know, there was European, Chinese, Japanese, Indian food. It was a spectacular breakfast. But this is just an example of some of the bars that are on either side of that little promenade as you walk up and down. It was my first time in Bali, and I went there to split up the long journey coming back up from Sydney. So it's 6 hours from Sydney to Bali, and then it was a long 13-hour one going back to Istanbul, and then I went up to Heathrow. So this is the promenade. You can see, like, you'll see the hotel in a moment. There's the beach on the right hand side, and there's some I assume that they're mangrove trees. I don't know what the trees are. Okay. And then just to finish off, you can see the hotel there. So although it does look big and imposing, if you are going to stay, it's fantastic. It's been refurbished. The people are its number one assets. Everybody I met there was absolutely wonderful. That's it, folks. Please do like and subscribe.